What is going on, YouTube? It's Tyler from Mission VR, where it's my mission to bring you guys good quality VR content. So today we are going to be taking a first look at a new virtual reality shooter that was just released about a month ago and to early access. Now this game is not complete yet and it's still missing a boatload of features that the developers have promised, but what is there is actually pretty solid and it's definitely worth taking a look at. Now this game is called Crunch Element. This game is kind of a Rainbow Six style siege shooter, which is pretty freaking awesome if you think about that in VR, and it definitely has a lot of the foundation there to one day maybe be one of the best VR shooters on the market. With that being said, guys, make sure you do drop a like on this video and subscribe to my channel. It helps me grow and it helps this video get seen by other people that might be looking for maybe some hidden gem or unheard of VR games that are out there. So make sure you guys hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. And we're going to go ahead and hop on into this right after we hear from our official sponsor, VR Final, which you can go to vrfinal.com in order to check out all the related VR news. It's a VR news site that is growing relatively fastly. So make sure you guys check out vrfinal.com and let's hop on into this video. Alright guys, first up, as always, is content. I like to talk about the content that is in these games. What are you paying for? How much content are you getting? And I won't lie to you, on the surface of this game, there's not a ton. It's only 2 maps, and really I would say only 1 map, but it's a night mode and a day mode at this current state. Now the developer is working on fully procedurally generated environments, which will definitely change up the play style slightly. Now the game currently has randomized, I guess we'll call them dungeon loadouts. Basically, the compounds as you enter are randomized, the bomb is randomized. It's not going to be the same compound over and over, so that definitely does promote some replay value there, but the environments could use a little bit of work, and the developer already said that the next coming updates are going to have a lot of new environments and new procedural generation of all that stuff. So pretty cool. Now in this game, every environment is destructible, which makes it unique, as in you're going to have wall charges and various equipment to bust through walls and doors and all kinds of things. Pretty much everything in the environment is destructible, so if you feel like going through every single wall in the map, you can do that if you want. It's going to be hard, but yeah, you can definitely do that. Definitely plays for some unique gameplay styles here. Is if you feel like going up on top of the roof and busting in through the roof, you can do that. If you want to come through the wall, you can do that. If you want to go in through the doors traditionally, you can do that. It's definitely a pretty cool feature, and I think it adds a lot of replay value to the game. When it comes to game modes currently, there is only one, and that is to defuse the bomb. Now the developer has promised multiple different game modes and objectives coming in the future, which is certainly something to keep your eye on. A hostage rescue would be pretty cool, and I think that there's a lot of room to play with objectives in this type of game. Now on top of that, right now there's only 6 primary weapons, one of them being a shield and the other ones being traditional gun style weapons, and the developer has already said that they're going to be adding new weapons as well as weapon attachments, as currently the weapons already come with pre-attachments on them and you have no customizable ability. The only thing you can customize is your loadout, which you have 3 loadout options, and you can customize these whichever which way you want. If you want to take a frag grenade, you can. If you want to take a impact grenade, you can do that. If you'd rather have wall charges or a grenade launcher, those things are all customizable, which again adds some replay value as you can play around with different weapons, figure out what kind of style you like, and plan with your team on who's taking what into the compound. Now currently the content level in this game, yes, is lacking a little bit, but what is there is pretty solid, and it definitely offers a nice foundation going forward. They have a good core gameplay down. Now what I would like to see out of this game coming up in the coming months is definitely the procedural generation to make the missions a little bit challenging, or I should say more challenging, because currently they're pretty easy to get done, and I think that this will make the game go stale pretty fast, as you're going to want to really have to work together as a team, and there are definitely some times in this game currently where you can kind of run and gun your way through the level, and that's kind of defeats the purpose of a Rainbow Six style siege tactical-esque shooter. You don't really have to work. My other big gripe with content in this game is just the lack of, I guess, enemy variety, and there's no enemies that are outside of the compound. They're all inside the compound, so you really don't have to breach the compound in any way other than the inner workings of it. So definitely some room to improve there, and I think the developer absolutely will, as long as he keeps getting the support he's getting from the community, which is definitely a growing community. So it's certainly one to watch out. But overall, the content level in this game is not super high, but there definitely is some replay value. And I think that as updates come out, the replay value is going to get insanely strong in this game and will definitely justify the price tag of $19.99. So when it comes to our overall sound design, I think it's actually pretty solid in this game. I mean, I wouldn't say it's outstanding and doesn't blow me away, but the overall gun sounds I think are pretty serviceable. The explosion sounds are pretty good, and the enemies, the way they talk, the sounds that they make, the footsteps, I think it's overall done pretty well. It's never going to take you out of the game, and I definitely would say it's above average, no doubt about that. Where I do feel the sound design could use some work is in the soundtrack of the game. It would be nice if they added some, background music for certain tense situations, and I know that's probably easier said than done, but it's one of those things where, maybe when you get into the compound, they have some soundtrack playing, or whenever you get to the bomb, they have some soundtrack playing. I think that would definitely help. There's really no music in the game currently, and I think that takes away from it just slightly. But overall, I think the sound design is pretty serviceable in this game, and some of the weapon sounds do sound pretty good. So when it comes to our graphics section, obviously you guys can tell from watching the gameplay footage that the graphics are nothing that you're going to be blown away by. It's not going to be the next Battlefield 8 graphics where, you're going to have 8K, explosions in front of you that look next to real life. That's obviously not going to be the case with this game, as it's a little bit more of a cartoony graphic style, but what is there and the way it's done is handled well. The performance is pretty decent, and you're not going to have any real issues with it. The explosion, gun flashing and stuff, it keeps you all nice and immersed into the game. You're not going to ever feel like you're not immersed, even with the cartoony graphics. And that's the one nice thing about virtual reality, is that really no matter how cartoony the graphics get, it could kind of trick you into being into that world. So I don't think the graphics are anything to, turn you away from a game. But if you're certainly somebody that looks for only games with next gen, next to real life graphics, this game's not going to be a good fit for you. Alright, and lastly, we have our pros versus cons in our immersion section in this video, and first I want to start with the pros of this game, and the game so far for me has a really good foundation. I think there's a lot that can be played with in this game, and if they start adding different complex procedural layouts, with multiple levels, multiple layers deep, in new environments outside. Also, I would really like to see a new entryway into the compounds. I mean, we all saw, the Osama bin Laden raid movie, and, how cool would it be if you flew in on a Black Hawk helicopter and then ziplined your way down into the compound? That would be pretty cool. And if the developer watches this, please let us fly in on a helicopter, or even parajump outside of a C-17 and into the compound. That would be pretty cool, and I think that would add a lot to the game. But overall, just the foundation of this game is really strong. I think there's a lot that can be there, and if they make the missions more challenging and you really do have to work together as a team, as well as adding new weapons and new attachments, really this game is just going to take off on its own, because it will get a lot of play as long as it does become challenging. I think people are looking for a game where they have to work together to get through the compound, and that really does create a lot of replay value there. Now, when it comes to the cons, obviously right now it's just really the only con I have is the lack of, I guess, compounds and lack of enemy types and stuff, and that's stuff that's all going to be fixed. Now, I did have some issues with my Oculus Quest 2 dropping out and crashing in the game, which is, it's an early access game, so that definitely is going to happen. And certainly whenever you get into sustained firefights with, a bunch of enemies and you have 4 teammates with you and, everybody's shooting their guns, sometimes the sound completely goes away inside the guns, which, again, can be something that will drop you out of immersion. The other thing that they already said that they're working on, so I'm not going to harp on it too much, is right now there's no game chat, so you have to join the Discord server to talk with your teammates, which can certainly put a lot of people back. But again, something that's going to be fixed in the coming update, so I'm not going to harp on that too much. Overall, I felt like the game didn't have too many crashes, just a couple here and there, but, it is early access, so there's certainly bugs. The grenade launcher hitbox is huge, so if you think you're sometimes shooting through a window, it's going to blow you up. Just little things like that that's going to get worked out throughout early access. But overall, I think the game has a really great foundation, and there's not a ton of cons that I can talk about other than some buggy things that are going to be fixed and the lack of content, which also is going to be fixed. Now, when it comes to the immersion factor, you're certainly going to have moments in this game where you feel like you are part of SEAL Team 6 breaching Bin Laden's compound. And that's kind of what the game's going for, and that's what I was hoping for. When you're in the night level and you get with a teammate, you put your wall charge on, you both get, behind, kneel down, and you wait, and you blow the wall charge, the wall blows out, and then you push in and you start killing people with silenced weapons. Yeah, you feel like SEAL Team 6, and that's what the game wants you to feel like, and it's awesome. And I want more of that. I want more strategy involved in going into these compounds. And I think that's going to be the biggest thing for me going forward. Is this game going to take me, by the horns and really, really surprise me in the future? I sure hope so, because I love tactical shooters, and, the ability to feel like this and really work together as a strategy is really what I'm looking for in a type of game. I want the replay value. I want every mission to be challenging, and if it's going to be procedural, definitely can add a nice feature to all that. You're going to have content continuously be refreshed as, every level and every run is going to be different. I just want the runs to be challenging, and definitely a reward type system where if you do beat a really, really hard level, where it took you an hour to get through a compound or something like that, I definitely need to add some sort of type of reward. So that's where I hope the future of this game goes. But overall, really strong foundation, and I think this game is certainly worth taking a look at if you're into this type of tactical shooter. Well, guys, that is it for this video. I hope you guys found it helpful, and if you guys did, please do drop that in the comments section, and also let me know what you'd like to see from my channel moving forward, whether that's more game reviews, more top 10 lists, or something else that I haven't done yet. Please do drop that in the comments section, and on top of that, drop a subscribe and a like on this video, as I'm going to be continuing to bring a ton of VR-related content in the coming weeks and months. So make sure you guys do that, and that is it for this one. I will see you all in the next one.